What I'm most proud about, I guess you could say. I need to do just a little bit more grinding right here. Hi, and welcome back. I think tonight I come out here and I've been standing staring at it. I have stuff I know I need to do, but I'm not in really mood to kind of go in depth with anything tonight. So I think what we're going to do is take the little thing we did down here, the anvil and the chain, take that apart, pop the inner rocker off, and take all the pans back out. But I think I may screw this front pan in to where it needs to be, because I have to make new holes, because when we pushed it in, it dropped it down some. Anyways, screw in new holes for it, get that down, and then take it back out. And I think it's warm enough out here that we can paint, zinc weld this inner rocker to a certain point, because we gotta do some work back here, and recoat what we missed on the pans. And two, there's a little piece right here on the tub. It's hard to tell. This looks like I'm pointing at air, but I'll show you. Kind of need to grind that back so we can make a little flange for it to kind of butt up against. Because right now we don't have really any support connecting it back to there, but I'll show you, excuse me, here in a minute. But I think if we get that done tonight, then I'll be pretty happy. Anyways, let's head over there and I'll show you what we're gonna do. All right, before we start taking any of this off, since I have this measurement here is almost 17, that's as close as I can get. I think I'm gonna go ahead and push this pan down and use the holes that are in the pan and put new holes into the body, and maybe that will help keep this brace down. Then we'll take all this off, take all the screws out of it, take all the pieces, because we need to paint this piece. And I think the insides of these pans here and this inner rocker. And while we have this off, I'm gonna go ahead and come in here and grind that down, because we're gonna have to make a piece to weld onto this that comes back here and bends this back this way, and we're gonna have to weld it on the back side to the tub, because right now all it's gonna hold it is this butt weld here that I'm not very good at, and I like to have some spot welds back here connected to the actual tub. And two, while we have it off, we can go ahead and trim this up here, and I think that's close enough down here that it'll push in, but that may this may have to be realigned further in, because you can see we got a lip here. We'll do that later, but I think right now we're gonna screw this pan in up here and then start taking it apart. I'm gonna set you up on the ladder and get to work. All right, I think we did pretty good this evening. So we got the pan in up here. It's pretty firm. We need to put another screw right there to bring that in a little bit. But it fits pretty good. There's, of course, spots had to weld up. Main focus was on the inner rocker. See, it's pretty flush right here. Of course, probably take these out when I put the kick panel. Hopefully this will be on before I put the kick panel on it. But we got the screws into the brace, so now it's not going anywhere. Got the brace here. This is what I'm most proud about, I guess you could say. I need to do just a little bit more grinding right here. That'll be pretty good, because I'll push in once that's gone. Be pretty good butt weld through here, I think. I don't think it looks too bad, and it's flush, except for right in here, but that's because we need to grind that down. And done pretty good over here too. Just gotta weld that up, and I'm gonna add metal on the back side of this to attach to the tub. Anyways, I ground this down back here, and it looks like it's good metal to weld to, so we'll just have to measure this distance, and then might use one of the pieces that we cut off this. There has a bend in it. We can put it on the back side here, touching this, clamp it, and then mark on the, or we'll put it right here and clamp it, and then we'll mark on the inside here where we need to cut. And that should give us that distance there, I'm thinking. Anyways, it'll be all the way up to here. There's a little bit I still got to get out. I have to use cut wheel to cut that out, and then we'll fill this all in, and I'll be ready to attach right there. And then we'll just weld this up, and this should be pretty good. Now, the floor is pretty solid. I just have to weld it in now. And when I took the kick panel off here, I'm not sure if that moved a little bit, but when I unclamped it, it kind of swung that way, which is kind of odd to me. So I'm thinking it needs to go up more. So I'm thinking about bending this out a little bit more so we can get more metal up in there. Then coming back over and hammering it down over it. And that should hopefully fix that. And I don't know if I'm going to put a piece in there. I may just weld around it. Or I could put a piece in there. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything if I put one in there. And of course, all these holes that we misaligned the pan with, we're going to have to fill in. And on the firewall too, I noticed there's some over that we're not using anymore. You can kind of see one right there above that screw. And then two right there. I'll have to get in there and pop a few little beads of weld. But I think this pan is fitting pretty good. I don't have that huge gap right there anymore like I did. There's a little bit of one right there. But I think I can probably clean all that up. And I may come back and try to weld that, hammer that down a little bit. That lip right there. Like maybe cut it and hammer it down and weld it, like, I guess weld it back to the pan. Maybe about the only way I could fill that gap. Your thoughts on that, let me know in the comments. That's a good thing to do, but I know I need to do some cleanup around this brace here. And it looks terrible. So next time we have the pan out, I may get in there and try to clean it up a little bit. But I think we're not doing too bad. You can see, looking down, looks like a little indentation right there, but I think we're going on the right track, hopefully. Well, I think that'll do it for me this evening. As you can tell, it's getting cold out here. Probably too cold to paint, so we're not gonna paint anything today. But I do like where we're at with the inner rocker. Back there came out better than I thought it would. Still have a little bit to do, but it's not much. And the front pan fits really nice, a lot nicer than I had it before. But like on the transmission tunnel coming up, there's still a pretty good gap. I don't know your thoughts. Should I cut it, hammer it down, then screw it back to it, and put spot welds on that side, and then seam seal it? Then I'll have to fill the welds in on the pan too, where the screws were again. So will that be the best way to close that gap? Because I don't want stuff getting up into there and causing rust and everything, and I think that's too thick of a gap for seam sealer. So that's my thought, is cutting it at the corner and hammer it back down on the pan and screwing it in and spot welding it down, and then using the seam sealer on that seam, which will hopefully be minimal by then. But anyways, I don't know if you saw when I was under the Bronco, but I didn't want to drill blindly into the braces that are coming out to the rocker, inner rocker. So I just went under there. I got my jacket dirty. Went over there and traced out where the braces were, and then just drilled holes, and I hit the braces, except for this front one. The little piece of brace on this side, I probably had to bend it back, take that screw out, and just use that as a spot weld. Because when I drill through it, I just push that metal back. So I have to bend it back and just make it bigger for a spot weld. And that being said, we need to drill holes for spot welds on the inner rocker across the top. And that little piece we build down here, we'll have to have a couple of spot welds on it. And then I think we'll drill the kick panel out for the spot welds. I'll do the same thing, get it where it needs to be, and then we'll trace it, and I'll come in and drill. So I know there's a bunch of spot welds on the lower part where the inner rocker and the kick panel meet, and up on the top where we replaced the piece that was rotten, there's a lot of spot welds in there. I forget how many, but it's a lot in that little section, because that's it's structural, so we'll have to drill that out pretty good. Now I'm going to spot weld on this side of everything, because I don't want to be underneath the Bronco trying to weld and inside the Bronco trying to weld, because I can't weld very good anyways, and it's a lot easier to grind on the outside than it would be to grind on the inside. But anyways, with that being said, thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, I post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday over the Bronco. We are on track to get this thing done, hopefully in a couple of years, depending on money and my skill level. But we'll keep trucking. There's always something to do on it, so we'll be continuing on with the floor next time. And if I happen to do a premiere on this video, if you made it this far, thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next.